Summer League is upon us, and on Saturday, the Dallas Mavericks played their first game of Summer League. And although we did lose to the Utah Jazz by 2 points, a lot could be learned from that loss for these young guys that are fighting for a roster spot. While some definitely did stand out and show that they were just ready for the next level, a few players looked like they could benefit from going back to the G League. So in this video, we're going to take a look at a few players and just look at what really stood out in Game 1, the highs, the lows, the pluses, and the minuses, and see what we can expect from their second game tonight. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, only 9.3% of you guys have that notification bell turned on, and I know you guys are tired of me saying it. It's the off season, but it's not my off season. I bring you guys content as often as I possibly can on everything Mavericks related, and if you don't want to miss out on a single thing that we do here, make sure you ring that bell so you stay up to date. But like I said in the intro, it's Summer League, and we have a lot of players that are fighting for a roster spot, while some, they already have a spot, and they're just trying to get into the rotation. And a few days ago, I made a video saying that Max was ready. And unfortunately, after Game 1, he does not look ready. His stat line looks fairly decent, but if you watched him on the floor, he did not look all the way there. His defense was pretty solid. His offense was just not really all the way there. There were some moments where there's a lapse in judgment, a bad shot, a lot of forced shots from a lot of these guys that looked like they were just trying too much to make the roster, as if this one game defined what was going to happen going forward. Although Max didn't look the best, there were other players that looked very well. And let's just go on into it, right? Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and was 7 of 15 from the floor. And we saw Brandon Williams towards the end of the season last year in the last few games where he did play, and he really did show flashes of being a ball handler that could potentially be that third ball handler for the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe not quite yet, but maybe down the road if we do keep Brandon Williams, if he does continue to develop, I think he could be a key piece for the Dallas Mavericks. He was able to score pretty efficiently. 7 of 15 isn't that bad at all, so it's a little bit under 50%, but it was still good. In the passes, the timely passes that he made was just excellent. He looked very natural out there, not like he was forcing anything or rushing anything. Brandon Williams, in my opinion, was the best player on the Dallas Mavericks. Looked like a professional and played like one. His defense was also there. That 2 steals, pretty good to me. I liked what I saw from Brandon Williams. He made very good decisions. He was getting the team involved, and a lot of pick and pop of what he was doing, and I like to see that. A lot of playmaking, not just running around playing hero ball because it's Summer League or you're with the other rookies or the other players fighting for a roster spot. A lot of selfishness can come from Summer League, but from Brandon Williams, I was very impressed. There's not much I do have to say about Brandon Williams. His game looked very good. If he can continue this throughout Summer League, I believe that he will possibly get a roster spot with the Dallas Mavericks. I think that he's someone that we could definitely use. Maybe on a 2-way contract, you stash him in the G League for a little bit longer, let him develop even further, and maybe next season we bring him up. Who knows? I think Brandon Williams looked good. I think he'll continue to look good. And honestly, I was impressed because I really thought that the person that was going to stand out was Max. And if we look at Max's numbers from the other night, he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. He was 2 of 11 from the floor, but he was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. So if we talk about Max and just how he looked in Game 1, he looked a little lost. I'm not going to lie. I thought after a full season with the Dallas Mavericks where he really just dominated, not want to say dominated, but he played very well in the G League. I thought, okay, you've been practicing, you've been playing with the guys, you've been doing very well in the G League. One of our best players on our G League team. Summer League shouldn't be a problem for you. You're playing against other rookies and other guys fighting for just a 10-day contract. This shouldn't be a problem. And unfortunately it was. Max was forcing up a lot of shots, a lot of boneheaded plays. Thankfully, he's able to hit almost all of his free throws. He was 7 of 8 from the free throw line, but he was 2 of 11 from the floor. On the offensive end, it did not look good. He did not look ready. A lot of people are saying that Max does not look ready at all, and unfortunately, that does look like it could be the case after Game 1. And like I said, Game 1, just one game should not define a player on who they are. Tonight, probably after the time of this recording, by the time you guys see this, the Summer League Game 2 for the Dallas Mavericks should be on, and hopefully Max can turn it around. He can look like the player that everybody knows that, at least hope that he could definitely be. But Game 1 was just not his game. The defense was pretty solid. I'll throw the numbers back up. He had 2 steals and 1 block and 6 rebounds. So at least on that end of the ball, I'm not too worried about Max. Definitely knew what he was doing on the defensive end, getting the rebounds in the timely positioning, knowing where to be. He looked fairly good, getting the 2 steals, 1 block. His defense, I'm not worried about it. I think that was the key for Max, was just to be the defensive anchor, to take on the toughest assignment every night of Summer League. I do believe that's where Omax will flourish. That's where he'll prosper, so to speak, right? Where even if we do call him up, even if he is in the rotation for the Dallas Mavericks, I don't think his offense will translate just yet. But as long as he contributes to defense, as long as he continues to go after those boards, after those loose balls, just be a pest on defense with those steals and blocks, he can find a niche with the Dallas Mavericks, at least on the defensive end. But like I said, the offense, it definitely needs to improve. Hopefully tonight it looks better, but who knows? But the other player that I definitely want to bring up that definitely surprised me was the rookie that we drafted, Melvin Ajinça. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But Melvin definitely looked good. Forced a few shots, was a little bit rash. He had a couple turnovers last night or the other night, so he definitely did kind of force things, was just a little bit too headstrong. But there was a lot of things that looked good. Melvin Ajinça is a power forward point guard, a forward point guard, a point forward, however you want to say it. That's the type of player that he looked like to me, as he was able to get out in transition and just crash the boards, just get a nice little dunk in transition, a little layup here or there. But also he's able to make good passes in transition to get guys set up. He only had 1 assist. It only happened once, but his passing looked very well, getting guys set up, moving the ball around. And the 5 rebounds, the same thing with Omax, is being able to be exactly where he needs to be to get those boards. And just like the other 2 guys, like Brandon Williams and like Omax, he was able to get a steal and a block. So the defense from the majority of these guys did look good. The offense, it was a little bit iffy. And in this game, the Dallas Mavericks had the lead for the most part. And unfortunately, it fell apart. It just wasn't there. But Melvin Ajinça, our very late second-round pick, in my opinion, looks pretty good. And I saw a few reports saying that the Dallas Mavericks are banking on Melvin to actually be the player to fill that 15th roster spot. That if he impresses the team enough in Summer League, he could definitely be our 15th man. And if not, it's not the end of the world. I heard that we will be stashing him in France for another year. But with everything that I saw from Melvin Ajinça, the fact that he is very athletic, he knows a lot about ball movement and just knowing where to be and where to place himself. And even off ball, he knows how to move. I was fairly impressed. Someone that we drafted that low in the draft, that for the most part, being drafted that late, he does show signs of somewhat being ready. Maybe not to be in our starting rotation, maybe not coming off the bench, but at least he can get a few minutes in garbage time, show the team what he can do. I don't think that any of these guys are ready to actually crack the rotation, but at least get onto the roster on a 2-way contract, maybe that last roster spot. Maybe we waive AJ Lawson, although I think we should hold on to AJ Lawson. A few people think that we should waive him for one of these guys. But you let me know down in the comment section down below. Do you think that we should give a roster spot to one of these guys? Maybe waive somebody so we have an extra spot? You guys let me know. Because to me, a lot of these guys, at least the guys that I mentioned, and Brandon Williams and Melvin, they definitely look good. Omax needs a little bit more time. Maybe game 1 just wasn't his game, and we'll see something different tonight. But also, Jared Dudley is the head coach, and in his first game head coaching, unfortunately, it wasn't well. Jared Dudley challenged the foul call that was late in the 4th quarter with like a couple seconds to go, but it was unsuccessful. The Jazz beat the Mavs 90-89. So I'm sorry, we didn't lose by 2, we lost by 1. Very close. Like I said, we had the lead for the majority of the game. It just got away from us. Like I said earlier, it's Summer League. A lot of these guys are fighting for a roster spot. They're fighting for a contract. It's a lot of hero ball. It's a lot of just, in some ways, selfishness. But if you win the game, you can do things that will impress the team. So they do offer you a roster spot that you can find your way onto the team. But if we're talking about who impressed, in my opinion, it was definitely Brandon Williams. Melvin did too, but I was very impressed by Brandon. And I'm excited to see what we see tonight from the young guy. But you guys let me know down below, who do you think impressed you the most? But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making far to this video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing another giveaway. The winner will be announced in the first week of August. But until next time, you guys take care. Drink water. Peace.